don't believe in looking for the clues. I believe that.
Good evening, Seekers of the Darkness. And welcome to Blood from a Stone, where things are about to get wild. Hi, my name is Philip. I'm the Dreadmaster of this game. Ooh. Very scary stuff. Surrounding me are some wonderful players. Say hello, players.
Hello.
Hello, players.
Hello, players.
Excellent. I don't know if this is your first time joining us tonight or if you've been watching for a while, but I would like to let you know that this is a great starting point. If you're new and if you're old, interesting stuff's about to happen, let me tell you. Up to this point in our game of Blood from a Stone, we have been watching the Dread Clock advance over and over again on its relentless march towards 13 after 13 after 13 in a town called Paradise. After last week's total party death, in which some long-time fan-favorite characters died or were left with no one to go on unliving for, we are changing our setting for a time. And with that, we are changing our entire format. We take you to an entirely different domain of dread, albeit one connected. This is a realm much larger than the small town of Paradise, where the mist is present everywhere, but rather than bounding just around a few square miles, bounds hundreds of square miles of two islands. These islands together are often called the Isles of Gloom. Some call them the United Kingdom of Grand Albion. But we are focusing on a particular region called Merkshire. That is where our story is going to begin, with new characters and an entirely new game system. I think I actually, we will open with, I think one of you has something, I'm hearing my voice in one of your ears. Yeah, sorry. We are going to open with an invocation. But the invocations are very different. Lauren, I wonder if this one might actually mean a bit to you.
No.
Uh-oh.
By a route obscure and lonely, haunted by ill angels only, where an eidolon named Night on a black throne reigns upright. I have reached these lands but newly from an ultimate dim Thule, from a wild, weird clime that lieth sublime, out of space, out of time. Merk is the largest city in the North Country, the capital of Merkshire, a historic county, but one that is largely still respected by the Greater Union. And in the city of Merk, there is a building, the Walpole Building. Like many of the buildings in this very old city, this was probably first constructed hundreds of years ago. But it has received certain modernizations, and it is a rather picturesque spot. It stands 6 stories total, so because we're in a sort of UK style setting, the top floor is the 5th, even though there are 6 stories, because the ground floor is the first, what we call first floor, they call ground floor. It's infuriating. In any case, 6 stories tall. The top 2 belong to a private members-only club, the Order of the Opal Octopus. And waiting, not on the 4th floor, where the main sort of gathering areas, dining halls, study rooms, cigars, smoking chambers, all these sorts of things, but on the 5th floor, up at the top, 4 members of relatively new status, who have engaged in some business for higher-ranking members in their academic pursuits of strange occult dealings, the supernatural, all that kind of fun things that go bump in the night sort of stuff. We have 4 people. These are people who are open to the possibility that those frightening tales they heard as children might have some truth to them. These are people who perhaps often sleep with the light on just in case. Maybe they think that these stories have a good scientific explanation. Others might think or know that they don't. But in any event, these individuals are gathered in a little antechamber on the 5th floor of the Walpole building outside of a private dining room where they have been summoned. I will now like for our players to introduce and describe their characters, who we see here. Let's start, if we could, with Miss Sarah Quill.
Hello, my name is Sarah Quill. I don't really have any position to speak of, but I do enjoy studying the occult and the mysterious. I'm 23 and not married, which to my family is quite a disappointment, but I make do by spending my days reading very much about things that can't be explained, so I'm just very happy to be here.
It's disappointing to everyone, not just your family. Let's move on to Mr. Conrad Bourgeois.
Conrad Bourgeois here. I'm an inventor from a faraway land, and I know that the world is made out of electricity. And I know that some way, if we harness that electricity, we may be able to send information and pictures and maybe even feelings to one another from remote distances. I'm also working on a new corn shucker, and I know that I can revolutionize the corn industry. And I'm here because I really enjoy interesting folk.
Your Honor.
All right, well, my name is Alistair McGregor. I'm a local judge. What's there to say? You're not going to miss me in a room. I am quite large, standing probably around 6'6", weighing around, let me do this quick conversion into stone.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, probably well over 20 stone, for sure.
That's a lot of stone.
You saw the size, right? I mean.
Oh no, your size thing is you definitely are.
6'6", for a 6'6", you're gonna weigh quite a bit if you're a large.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it makes sense. I am not quite the most attractive man you've seen. I'm also on the older side, around in my mid-50s. But you're not gonna miss me, but I'm not gonna miss you either.
Wonderful, Your Honor, a judge. And I will also point out that Judge McGregor is a wee bit older than anyone else gathered here. But
never too old to seek information and learn the truth.
That is the motto, in fact, or one of the many mottos, probably in some weird language of this order.
Sir Drake said that.
Of the Opal. But Siobhan.
Yes, I'm Siobhan Walsh. I don't remember much of my childhood. I was found as an amnesiac on the shores of Ireland, and we don't know why my accent is not there, but it's just not. We assume it has something to do with the head injury. But I did know my name, and I am also very bright and a studier of ancient things. I love old things. I love studying old things. I like learning about them and hunting them down. Me.
Wonderful. Yes, so kind of an interesting group here. You all are known to one another. This may be the first time you've all been sort of gathered here, so if there's anything any of you would like to say to one another, now is the time.
Hello, everyone. It's so lovely to meet you all. I know a couple of us have met briefly, but it's so lovely to be here. I would just like for everyone to pardon me because I get very nervous when I'm around people that I don't know very well. So it's just very nice to meet you all, and I hope that I hope that we can get along amazingly well.
Now, take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay, darling.
Okay.
You know that in real life, just like in court, it is possible to say too much.
Well, you're both being really rude to her. She's just excited.
Excitement is a good thing.
I don't get out much, so I just tend to stay at home and study and look at things. But I'm very glad we're all here.
Yes, perhaps this meeting can lead to some more, lead to some fruition in terms of understanding and knowledge.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing something interesting tonight, and I know that you all folks are pretty interesting as well, so I'm pleased to be here with y'all.
Conversation lulls. You all sort of sit here. It's a dark wood-paneled room. Very nice carpets, although some age is showing on them. Certainly been here a while. This is not a constantly maintained private club. It's certainly not the wealthiest even in Merc, certainly not in the islands altogether.
Do we know why we've been gathered here, or did we just...
You have been asked to sort of dine with Octavia O'Dowell, who's a high member of the group, who is an important member of the Order of the Opal Octopus. But yeah, you don't know necessarily to what end. Although, if any of you are interested in trying to find that out just from your backstory, one of you could make a luck check. Or a luck roll. They're not called checks in this game, damn it. So, who would like to try a luck roll?
It has to be under?
So what you will do is all of you have a luck score. This is kind of not in the skills, it's up at the top. And, I will say to our viewers, our players are learning the Call of Cthulhu system right now along with you, so there may be some pausing to explain rules. It is a very simple system. I also encourage everyone to just check it out. It's real fun. So you all have a luck score. In order to make a luck check, you simply roll your D100, and if your roll is below your luck score, congratulations, you have succeeded.
I would like to try.
And Sarah Quill, please make a luck roll. And what is your luck score?
It is 65.
All right.
Not bad.
And I got a 72.
Then part of you is wondering, and you're just like, if only my letter had been, if only my invitation to this had been hand-delivered from someone whose, psychology I could have tried to read, but unfortunately, you simply received it by post, so
yes.
You do not have any sense of why you were here. But as you all kind of maybe think on these reasons, sort of a throat is cleared, kind of from, a corner of the room over by the door.
Hello?
You see a young footman who's appeared very suddenly. They must train them to be very quiet around here. Real Milford men. But he's just kind of seems to have stepped in, and he's just standing there and says, I'm to inform you that she's ready to see you now.
Right, so we just follow you then.
He sort of steps over to the door. He reaches out, puts his hand kind of over the handle, turns the handle, steps back, as you guys are all sort of, I assume, gathering to go in. So yes, as you sort of pass in, you discover a table that is currently set, no food on it yet, but completely set for a nice dinner with multiple glasses and plates and all the forks and knives in exactly the right spot.
We think monkey brains will be on the menu this evening.
Could be. They serve some exotic things here, certainly. However, across the way at the head of the table, is a woman. She's in her 70s, but she seems extremely energetic and spry. She has long, sort of white-gray hair tied back in a ponytail. She's wearing what one might call, her lounging khakis. So she looks like she's in sort of safari gear or some kind, but it's like the chilled-out resting version. And she, is standing next to a young man, kind of wearing just evening dress. But as you walk in, she looks startled and slams closed a red leather folder, and just looks up. And the young man who's with her he sort of steps forward and says, we're not quite ready for you, just yet.
Oh, the footman let us in. Sorry.
Footman?
We didn't mean to intrude. Maybe we can just hang out a little bit and we'll wait for you all to get ready.
Octavia kind of puts a hand up and says, I no, it's fine. We've seen all. I've thank you for that. No, it's fine. Fine, Harris. Oh, please. Well, come on in then. Come on with you. Harris sort of is like, what footman? He kind of goes out to look for whatever footman just let you all in. But she's holding this folder. Yes. Well, we'll have a seat then with you. Come on.
Belly up to the bar.
Very good. So if you all sit around the table, Harris kind of comes and says a couple of things to her sort of quietly. If any of you... So there isn't like passive stats in this game the way there are in D&D. If anyone wants to try to listen to what they're saying, you can do so. So
What check would that be?
it is a listen roll.
I'd love to try and make a listen roll.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to listen, I will say any of you can do it, but you should all be aware that this is a hard success.
Ooh. Yeah.
So you have to roll your blue number, not your red.
All right.
There's no harm in just listening. So you are going to attempt it, Alistair? Go ahead, Alistair. Give me a listen roll.
I rolled a 30 and my hard check is a 40, so I'm underneath.
You are underneath. So you...
Check the box?
You may check the box, correct. You also, however, hear Harris saying to her, she's stopped screaming for now, but I heard every word. This was precisely what she said. And he seems to be almost gesturing to the that folder. And then he'll sort of say, and you sort of hear this as well, again, very kind of under the din of everyone else sitting down, but you very specifically hear him add, and I don't know who let them in. I'll try to find out. I'll summon the footman. Perhaps one of them can. He sort of steps away and he rings a little bell. And in fact, several footmen come in, bringing in like wine that they start pouring for your dinner, as you're all gathered about.
Are any of these footmen the one that let us in?
No, none of the footmen are the one who let you in.
Right.
Harris kind of stands awkwardly. It looks like the table has been set for 5, not 6. So he kind of just stands off to the side. She gives him a look. He nods and kind of walks out without saying goodbye to any of you. That red folder is still at her side.
Thank you so much for inviting us. This is lovely.
Happy to do it. I've heard good things about each of you, so I thought we might have things to discuss, and might honestly have a project if you're up for it.
I love projects. I'm
She kind of sits down and they begin sort of serving you food, Downton Abbey style. You know, people coming and putting stuff on you, passing around. It's a whole mess. But in any case, she'll sort of say, well, it involves a bit of traveling.
I would love that. I'm often stuck at home. My family doesn't let me out because I don't have a suitor or anything. So I would love to just get out in some way.
Well, it's not really to the most picturesque area, and I'll be honest with you. I'm someone who travels a fair bit, but I'm not quite as young as I used to be. And
I'll say that.
She kind of just gives you like a look of like, oh, brother, you know. I will say that she is probably 20 years your senior and looks to be in significantly better health.
Okay. Sick. Yeah. Hell yeah.
But sort of she'll kind of just give you this withering sort of look. There's a part of you that would not want her to be a barrister. She'd probably give as good as she got. But she'll say,
where?
there is There's a village north of here. It's called Thatchford. Well, the village you'd be going to is Lowgrave. Thatchford cum Lowgrave's the general area. And a friend of mine, sort of a protege, a botanist, her name's Darla Quicklime. Any of you heard of her? I'll tell you what, if anybody would like to attempt let's have one of you, Conrad, why don't you make a history roll? Let's see if you know old Darla.
It'll be tough.
Not one of your strengths.
It was a 17, and no, I didn't hit it.
That's sad. So yes, unfortunately, you don't know the name Darla.
Doesn't ring a bell, ma'am.
You know what? I'm going to walk that back. I should have done this a different way. I'm so sorry. Let's actually, we're going to keep your roll. There's another, I haven't even told you guys about this one. There's another thing in this game called a no roll, and it is where, like, KNOW, and it's basically the idea that, sometimes you can simply roll to just see if, like, you're vaguely aware of, even if you're not, like, extremely proficient in something. So what is your
on here?
No roll is not. What is your education? It's not listed as such. What is your education score?
80.
80. In that case, you have succeeded on a no roll. You have heard of her just around the thing. So if I'm ever asking for a weird thing, guys, please, as players, be like, should this be a no roll? Because sometimes it should be. It has to do with, for those who care about such things, no rolls are for things that, like you know, you don't have to be a botanist to know that there's, like, a stamen as a part of a flower or whatever, that sort of stuff. It's like,
okay.
It's
Gotcha.
kind of
So
just
like a general knowledge.
maybe a general honest thing you might be aware of is a no roll. Okay, so with that, we will say that you are in fact aware of Darla Quicklime. She's probably in her 40s, and she is a botanist. And she also is an award-winning, like, grower of vegetable marrows, what we call squash, and like flowers and stuff. She grows lots of flowers for fairs and shows.
I do recall remembering Darla. She's into the squash business. What do we have to do with meeting up with her?
Well, she went to Thatchford cum Lowgrave a week or two ago, and it appears she's gone missing. She was looking for a flower that they said had not bloomed there in a long time. It's called the Dark Lord and Lady's flower. Don't know if any of you know flowers, but it's a rather strange one. And she wanted to go investigate, and she sort of sent me back word that she had found a couple of things. I was intrigued, and then she sent me no word back, and I asked after her, and they hadn't seen her at her inn, which is over in Thatchford, not in Lowgrave, where she was spotting the flower. And I'm a bit concerned. Lowgrave is a place. Have any of you heard of it? Now, this actually would be a history roll. It's a very obscure, small place. Do any of you have, like, a pretty good roll in history you'd want to be the one to make this?
65.
Yeah, mine's 40. It's not great.
Alistair, go ahead.
5.
I will say, 40 is pretty good in this game, you know, for the whatever thing. So, Alistair, go ahead and make a history roll.
That's a 22.
22. Is that a hard success for you? Is that under half? Great.
Yeah.
So in that case, Alistair, hearing about Lowgrave, Thatchford cum Lowgrave, this is ringing a bell. It actually makes a lot of sense for it to be for you, come to think of it. About 30 years back, so maybe when you were like a young solicitor or barrister just starting out, or maybe clerking, as they say there, clerking, because I don't know why.
Yes.
You remember that there were a series of ritual murders never solved. This was just about 30, maybe 31 years ago.
Probably about 10 stone ago, too.
So, you're familiar with this place. It has a bad reputation. As far as you know, thanks to that hard success on your roll, the town of Lowgrave, which used to have like a pretty good mill, the mill actually was burned down as part of kind of the fallout of these murders. you think it was like 6 or 7 people got killed, and it was some kind of weird, folk nature cult nonsense, which is the legal term. So you're familiar with this place, and apparently she went there to look for these flowers, and now she's missing. So you, Alistair, can understand why. Cause for concern.
Yes. Seems to have been some, if I recall correctly, quite a bit of to do quite a few decades ago, if I'm not mistaken.
What do you mean?
I'll explain what I remember.
Understood. So yes, you guys hear some, and with the hard success he had, he can add some grisly details. Bodies found posed with their own blood forming inverted pentagrams around them. Organs removed. An early victim was a farmer, like a laborer. The last victim was actually a pregnant woman. But the child was delivered successfully, as far as Alistair had heard. So she was like just killed, but doctors got to her and were able to.
Do I happen to know what happened to the infant that was delivered?
I would say with an extreme success, I probably would have given that to you, but with a hard success, you were just like, oh, and apparently the baby was born as well. But you do remember it was a pregnant woman who was killed.
All right.
So pretty grim stuff up there in Thatchford cum Lowgate. Or Lowgrave. So, Octavia will sort of say, I think you can understand why the Order is intrigued. Obviously, we're mainly wanting to get our member back, or at least I'm mainly wanting that. But anything you might learn about what happened there and might still be known by the people. Darla went up on her own, by her lonesome. I thought perhaps sending a few people, sort of maybe some of you a little more young and vigorous, others of you, with your own sort of persuasive ways, and she kind of gestures to Alistair.
Ma'am, I don't want to intrude, but this sounds like it could potentially be a dangerous situation that you're sending a group of us into, and I was wondering if maybe you perhaps could have something to help us prepare for such an arduous journey.
Well, if any of you know how to use a firearm, the Order does have a few that they can check out to you as a loan.
All right, I wouldn't mind bringing one. I don't want to take my nice hunting rifle out.
If you're worried about such things, all right. So yeah, we can get you some firearms.
I like firearms.
I've shot them before on my father's property.
I would
We have a shooting range.
I would only take this if you're rather, well, do whatever you want, dear. I won't sort of or phrase it this way. This is certainly a bit of a test for you. If you're able to do well in this, there's advancement opportunities for you here in the Order.
I'd like to try.
Much appreciated.
Can you please describe some of these opportunities, ma'am? Sometimes I like to know what I'm getting into. I've been
suffice it to say, I know there are certain library areas that are not available to all members. I know some of you were asking about reading those. Those books would be available for you to look at. Similarly, it's a quid pro quo situation. You do a favor for me, and there's a favor owed, provided you demonstrate some acuity in doing so.
We do this favor for you, get access to the library.
Among other things. Dearie, I like your hat.
Thank you.
Huh.
I hope it's appropriate to be wearing it indoors.
No, it's fine. So, does that sound agreeable to all of you? I'd recommend you sort of hire a carriage, perhaps even a driver might be a good thing to do.
Any recommendations?
Sure, we can provide you some recommendations and such. But in any event, she seems to be looking at her little red folder kind of a lot now that she's kind of said this to all of you. If there's nothing else, any other questions, I might leave you to enjoy this dinner. I already had a bit of a repast earlier, so I'm
Is there anything else we should be knowing about before we go off on this adventure?
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there were a lot of things Darla should have known before she left and went messing, but that's what I know. That's what I can share with you.
Ma'am, just, before we get to the firearms, I just have one question. You seem to be pretty preoccupied with that book there. What's inside it, if you don't mind me asking?
All right, so in order to find out what is in this book, I'm doing a lot of weird things of prepping this just to teach the system here. So imagine you guys are playing through the tutorial mode of a game. You think that you can attempt a persuasion check or a persuasion roll. Now, and I will kind of let you guys do some group whatever of this. You think it will take a hard success to do so. But if there are any ways any of you want to try to, work together, give yourself advantages, if others are intrigued and also want to learn about this, you guys can describe the way you might try to persuade her, and perhaps you can reduce the difficulty or get to roll with some kind of other advantage. Or, if you don't care what's in the book, Conrad can make the roll of his own volition.
I care. I would like to help.
Okay.
I mean, I would like to know what we're walking into.
Okay,
Wow.
So
what
there's...
I would...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So there's... Just, I would look at all the different skills you have, see if if anybody wants to try a different thing. Other options for this game. I know there's a lot of skills you probably haven't looked at all they are yet.
Yeah.
You could try to fast talk. That's where you it's kind of do some flim-flam. That's sort of the equivalent of deception in this game. You can try to charm. That's where you're just going to try to just make yourself so friendly.
Wait, so I'm sorry. So my charm is high, but my red and blue numbers are... That's what I have to get. I would like to try to charm her.
You're going to try to charm, okay?
Yes.
All right. So you are going to try to charm, and you do need the blue number for this to work. Because this is hard. So white is regular, blue is hard, and red is extremely hard.
Okay.
Is anyone else doing something? So basically, Conrad, you're attempting to convince her. You're trying to persuade. Sarah's going to try to charm, throw that on. Siobhan, are you getting in on this action?
I'm trying to determine what I could actually do that would be successful. in this
Understood.
scenario. I'm not sure there's much.
There, and
the only thing I really thought I could do was charm, but would be a tough one for me.
Understood.
Is there a way to use my mastery of the English language to make a great point or something? Using the perfect vernacular.
I'll tell you what. To use the English language, that would require an extreme success. So you'd have to roll under the thing. Now, I will say that as a group, since everyone's going to try to do something, so let's have Siobhan do this. I'll let this kind of be a group sort of attempt.
The best thing I have is charming as well.
Well, then you can charm as well.
Not very good.
So, so Siobhan will go kind of in order. Siobhan, why don't you make your charm roll? And what is your charm score? You have a...
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Sorry. She's Louise, new character.
It's always every time.
What is my target or
what is your charm score? Yes.
For a hard roll?
For a hard roll.
20.
Okay, we'll go ahead and roll. You got a 1 in 5 shot. It's not terrible.
Okay, here we go. 19.
19. All right, so that is
Are you
one.
shitting me?
That is one hard success. Sarah, let's have the other charm go in as well.
Okay.
Sarah, what is your charm score?
About the same. At 19, and I got 180.
Oh, whoops.
Wait, you have
Wait,
what?
no,
81.
81. I got.
You've rolled an
81.
81. All right, now Sarah, you have failed. If you rolled an 81, that is well over the.
Yes.
Okay. What is your score in white for charm, Sarah?
99. Wait, did I have to get red or blue?
You need to get blue.
Yes. No. That's 19. I failed.
But you do have a 99 in it. So, do you want to push? No. You need to get blue. If you have a 99, you need to get a 50, right? What's the number in blue?
49.
Yeah, 49. I'm gonna look at your page. Sorry.
Wait. I thought you said red. Oh, in blue it's 49. In red it's 9.
Oh, yeah. You're.
No, you have not succeeded. You've rolled an 81, so you have failed. However,
Right.
would you like to? But your target is much higher since you have a 99 in this.
Yes.
This is your one skill is charming. So you need a 49. Now you, if you'd like to, could push this roll.
I will push.
If you push, all you got to do, you have a one in, kind of like a 50-50 shot. So go ahead and roll again. However, if you push, you're pushing too hard and it's going to be bad. Otherwise, you could wait and let everybody else do, but you have to decide.
No, it's too early. I'm not going to push.
Not going to push. All right. Conrad, would you please make a persuasion roll? You do need to roll under your blue number.
Yeah, good luck on that one. So I rolled a 96, and my blue number is 5.
So what's really great is that by rolling a 96, you have basically rolled the equivalent of like a natural 1. You have rolled a fumble because your score is under 50 for that thing. So Conrad, you attempt to start persuading her of this. And you, you just burp.
Ma'am, I would really like to see what you have inside that book. Excuse me.
Yeah, you just like burp, and there's it seems like you're about to vomit or something. It's extremely off-putting, and your persuasion has failed miserably. Alistair, go ahead and make your extreme check for.
All right, so my language skill is a 99, so it'll be a 19 or below. If I roll a 19, does that count, or does that have to be below that?
It is a 19 counts, yes.
All right. That's a 93.
You have not critically failed. Do you want to push the roll?
Absolutely not.
I'll tell you guys, you need to, and I actually will allow Sarah to push her roll at the end of this, because you do have to do it like a round later. If you want to push the roll, you can, but right now you have failed the attempt. Siobhan's the only one who succeeded. Alistair will not try to push. Sarah, are you going to push?
I'll push.
All right, Sarah.
We'll see. I'm sorry. 30!
30 has succeeded. So Sarah basically tries to turn on the charm. It's not working. Conrad's burping. Alistair's talking about you don't even know what the guy's talking about. But then Sarah just turns on the charm again, and that does get you to 2 hard successes. And that allows her to relent a bit.
I just love so much curious books.
All right,
especially mysterious ones.
All right, it's honestly because you two remind me of my granddaughters.
Less more here.
Well, now she's doing fine. For a second it was rough, but now she's found the right lane. She would sort of say, We have someone here who's a sort of permanent resident, sort of in a bit of a, all right, I'll tell you this now. This is something only higher up people know, but I guess I'll use this as the kind of thing you might wish to learn about a bit more. We call her the listener in the attic. We don't really know where she come from, but we feed her, we take care of her. she's not really verbal. She's not really, can't really take care of herself. We've tried many psychologists and alienists haven't been able to figure out what's wrong with the child. I shouldn't say child compared to me. She's probably around, kind of gestures to Siobhan and Sarah. Not far from your age. But she's, she can hear things. And she's been very agitated lately. And, they write down what she says. Sometimes she repeats certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Well, she kind of thinks for a moment, but I think she decides she'll tell you. She opens the book up at random. But I don't see any angels in the city. I don't hear any holy choirs sing. And if I can't get an angel, I can still get a boy. And a boy will be the next best thing to an angel. The boy will be the next best. She goes on like this. A bit before that, she said, "Ooh, I know there's dance after death. And I don't ever want to be rescued. And I don't ever want to be saved. I got a feeling that I'm going to be alive forever. Dancing on the edge of the grave." She kind of turns through it again. "Though it's cold and lonely in the deep dark night, I can see paradise by the dashboard light." And then this is the one she just was screaming. She was just, she just wrote this. I'm not even quite sure if I can make out the handwriting. "And I'm gonna need somebody to make me feel like you do, and I will receive someone with open arms, open eyes. Open up the sky and let the planet that I love shine through. For crying out loud, I don't understand what these mean. I suppose if any of you hear such things, can shed any light on that, we have a record of what she says and what she hears."
Sorry, I haven't the foggiest clue what any of that might mean.
No, it seems somewhat poetical in nature, but it's, I don't understand.
Sounds nonsense.
Either.
It sounds completely nonsensical and not very decorous either. But that's who that is. I'd urge you not to try to sort of seek her out or anything. She's agitated. She's been, I'll tell you, the past sort of week or so, she's been very agitated, very upset, hearing a lot, saying all of these. I mean, this has all been written in the past week or so.
Been a rough week, if you ask me.
Seems like it.
About those firearms.
Yes, you can just go down and there's they'll help you sort of check some out. But please enjoy the rest of your dinner. Good luck. I hope that you're able to find Darla safe, and I also hope you can find out what's going on there, and I hope you're able to do both of those things, but one or the other would still be better than none at all.
Thank you.
Right.
We'll do our best. And she curtsies
Sure.
super deeply.
While still sitting at the table.
Yes.
Just into the soup.
Awkward curtsy.
She kind of nods and gets up and walks out, leaving the four of you alone to finish dinner and discuss a bit if you'd like.
Well, that was interesting. I'm very excited.
You don't get out much, do you, darling?
No, my family doesn't let me out. But when they saw that I was invited to such a lavish affair, they let me come in hopes that I would find a suitor. Not that I'm not looking for that. They think I am, and I told them that I would. But I would much rather look for the lost girl than a suitor, if
Sounds
I'm honest.
fair. Sounds fair to me.
Are you?
There's one thing we have in common there.
Oh.
Rather look for the girl than to find a suitor here.
Oh, well.
Of course.
Got a sense of humor. I like you,
Hmm.
Judge.
And yet you two both seem completely unaware about how women are allowed or not allowed to walk around their society. Interesting.
I have my books, and mostly paranormal romance, though. I study ghosts, but in the context of, romantic situations.
Not really a fan of ghosts, personally.
Plus, I only concern myself with the legal code, not the social contract.
Well, what do you think about her giving us guns to shoot for this paranormal adventure? That must mean that there's some physical element to it, obviously. Maybe dangerous people, maybe dangerous monsters, who knows?
Perhaps I'm better with my hands than I am with those weapons. I do like studying the older ones.
Well, that's nice. I like that's nice. That's very terrifying, if I'm honest, actually.
Well, I'd very much love to avail myself of some firearms. So.
All right.
But first, I love to avail myself of this dinner.
The
So yes,
wine
you.
is exquisite, if you ask me.
But there's wine. I need wine.
It is pretty, and Footman will sort of bring that over to you. Again, the footman who let you in, you do not see him among them.
And we like noticed that they were looking for him and couldn't find him, and he wasn't there.
You all, yeah, I mean, Harris kind of walked over and looked out to sort of see who it was, but he must have, he came back in, didn't talk to anyone. He spoke to you guys for a minute or so first. Talked to her before going to try to find the guy, and then he rang the bell, but yeah.
Garçon.
Hey, a footman comes over.
We were told about a couple of things here. One is renting a carriage to get to the place that we need to go.
Okay.
The other is about some firearms. Can you please help us acquire some of these items?
They can help you out to desk downstairs.
Well done. All right. Well.
Okay.
He just pours you some more wine anyway and kind of just steps back.
Well done. A little sloshy now.
Understood. Are you guys going to just go downstairs, look into that? You probably wouldn't be leaving tonight, but if you want to make your arrangements, you're certainly welcome to do so now and then travel via carriage tomorrow.
I would say.
Wonderful. You step back out into that anteroom. And all of you, except maybe for Alistair. Although, Alistair, you actually have a pretty good listen score, right? Is it above 50?
It's an 80.
It's an 80. And so even you, with your older, you have old but very practiced ears, all of you hear a muffled but pronounced scream. Woman screaming.
What was that?
It seems to be coming from above.
Is there anything are we in an awning or anything?
Ooh. Make a spot hidden roll.
Okay. What is my... Wait, I don't even know where that is. Oh, there it is.
Under,
Oop.
yeah. Just
Nope,
in the
41.
You look around and you can't really see anything in here that would make one think there was any space above.
Okay.
Wait, what kind of roll is this?
It's called spot hidden. It's the equivalent of like look or perception.
Oh, okay, there it is.
And my score was 25, so I rolled a 41.
Right.
Oh, and guys, I guess I really should mention this. I'll sort of pause our adventure here for one moment for a thing. I do still need to know when you roll those sweet nat 13s. The difference is the odds are actually much lower doing so. It used to be a 1 in 5. Now it's a 1 in 100. So, naturally they're that much worse when they happen. But we don't have to get into that. In any case, so yes, please let me know if we have any nat 13s. they're going to be a little rarer. Kind of probably just less of that dread, and other dread happens in different ways. But as you all hear this scream from above, you're in an anteroom. There's a hallway that leads towards like the main staircase that will take you back down to like the broader area down below. There's also a couple other hallways leading off from here. You think there's a couple other private dining rooms up here.
The staircase leading upstairs.
Why don't you make a spot hidden check? Roll. It's a roll, not a check, damn it.
Well, that did not pass. I need to beat a 35 and I rolled a 49.
Understood.
Both would have hit mine.
You have a good spot hidden?
I think I do.
Well, if the whole group is looking around here, go ahead and make a spot hidden roll.
I got a 29, which I have a 50.
Great.
So
Wonderful.
So does that mean I get to check that box? Wait.
You do get to check the box. You have succeeded. You didn't have to spend any luck or anything. And I guess I'll mention to our players, yes, if anyone has so Siobhan, you can go ahead and check your box for charm, because you did succeed on a charm.
Wait, I did too.
You did as well, so yes, you can. You did push it, but I think you still can when you push it. But if you ever use luck, you cannot check the box then, because it's like you didn't succeed as much as like succeeded in spite of factors. Great.
We've succeeded on the spot hidden rolls, or is it one?
Conrad has. Conrad, you guys are kind of looking around. Alistair's kind of looking at some of these dark hallways. They're very dim, but Conrad looks down another. And Conrad, you do see that one footman who let you guys into the room, kind of standing in a hallway, kind of under like a little like lantern on the wall. He kind of makes direct eye contact with you while kind of being in the shadows. And then he begins to walk up, kind of disappearing from view. Seems like there's a staircase that he's walking up. Kind of like a narrow passage down that hall.
Hey, y'all, there's that funny fella that let us in here. Anybody want to follow?
The rest of you look down that hallway. You do not see him. And Conrad, he stepped pretty quickly up that hall.
I don't see anyone.
The funny fella, I saw him. He went up toward that scream that we heard. You think it could have been that, that interesting lady they were talking about?
Well, there's only one way to find out.
I like the way you think, Judge.
I'll start lumbering down the hallway.
Wonderful. You head down the hallway. Do the others follow?
Yes.
Wonderful. So you all get to the
We
base.
can just hide behind him as he lumbers down.
You guys do, and it is pretty dim down here. The lamps are all sort of, whatever, like oil is in the lamps is turned really low kind of in here. You see a couple of open doors leading to like other little like sitting rooms or dining rooms, even smaller than the already smaller one you were just in. So it's just stuff that is not currently in use. But you get to this little turnoff and you see that there is an extremely narrow little staircase. It's like literally like one person could go up or down it at a time. It's really, really narrow. And the walls just like on either side of you, the paneling. And at the top of it, about 15 feet up, you see a door.
Is there any way to like a perception type check? Like, do we see anything?
Make a spot. It's spot hidden is the is the thing for it. Yeah. Okay. Make a spot hidden roll again.
42.
42 is a thing. With a 42, you make a glance up. You notice a pretty sturdy lock on that door, but you do not see anything that looks dangerous.
Looks like the door's locked up there. Does anybody have any? Do we have proficiency in like unlocking or anything like that?
I think that
There's sleight of hand.
Locksmith is a skill in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's any of your various things went into.
Sure.
That being said, Conrad, you are an inventor. You're sort of closest to it. I would let you try to make a mechanical check, mechanical repair roll, but it would always be at like one click harder than it would otherwise because you're not really doing
Okay.
What about
crafting?
I would do the same thing for crafting. What crafting do you have?
70.
I have a 90 of mech repair.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go with yours.
What kind of crafting do you have, though, Siobhan? It probably gives you a specific...
Like antique repair?
Oh, antique repair. I would similarly allow you to attempt a...
Ooh.
It would basically, like, to get a regular, it would be hard. To get a hard, it would be extreme. But yeah, you absolutely could. So, Conrad, you think you could maybe try to, like, just pick a lock by, mechanical... And, Conrad, you always have some screwdrivers or, little doodads on you, for sure. So you want to try that?
I think I'm going to try to finagle this door here. I feel like there's something up in this place, and I'd like to understand what's going on.
So Conrad goes up the stairs. Does anyone else follow him up this narrow staircase?
I will.
Understood. Everyone
Follow
does.
back.
Siobhan, you're kind of at the rear. So Conrad, you get there. Conrad, go ahead and make a hard mechanical repair.
12. And my extreme success is 18. So extreme
Wow. All right, Conrad. And a 12 was also one
So
short of a 13. So you skated by in all sorts of ways. So with a 12, you guys see Conrad kind of just, ain't no problem. Kind of like looks at the lock, and rather than trying to pick the lock, you just remove the lock. You just, like unscrew it you just pop out, unscrew it, boom. You have unlocked the door without issue.
Hey, y'all, wasn't too hard to get this thing unlocked. Yeah,
It was actually very hard. He's just
Certainly
really good.
pays to have a man of your talents around.
Well, go on.
Conrad,
I tap the door slightly. Hello?
you hear a whimpering sound from within.
We're a couple of kind folk about to come in the door. We don't want to alarm anybody. Is it okay if we step inside your domain?
Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna roll on that. Ooh, that's really low, yeah. When you say specifically what you just said, you hear this, like, howl of terror.
I didn't think about that.
You wouldn't. But in response, there is a howl of terror coming through. If any of you, I will not make this necessarily be a public thing. You are welcome to make it public if you want to the other players. If anyone here has a number in their dread mythos skill, they can roll for that. And you can just like text me or private chat me if you have succeeded. If you would like to. If anyone has
Do we
that
have a
in
what
there.
in our dread mythos?
If you have any number there other than 0. Most of you simply have 0. Some of you might already have a little bit of knowledge of the dread mythos. So if anybody wants to make that check, you could do so. You'd have to roll under whatever it is, and just let me know if you succeed via a text or a chat if you wanted to. But you hear that wailing sound and then silence.
I don't know, y'all. I think
Like someone's in distress there.
yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I think she didn't like your accent. Maybe she was just unfamiliar with a foreigner. I might try.
By all means, little lady.
I don't mean to be rude. It's just you have such an exotic accent. It can be off-putting to some people. I'm just going to knock on the door. So I will go up and knock and say, "Hello? Are you okay in there?"
Just kind of more whimpering in response.
I think
Look,
someone's
either we're
hurt.
going to go inside and see what's going on, or we're going to leave one way or another.
Okay, fine. So I will push the door open but not step in.
Understood. You see a dark room lit only by moonlight from 2 sort of windows, and the ceilings here are incredibly sloped. You believe that this has been built into an eave. There is a large circular window with a single crossbar, one in each direction over it. There's a kind of pale blue quality to the light in here. It doesn't smell great.
Does
but
it smell like rotting corpse?
no, but
No.
it smells kind of like a hospital room.
Okay.
There is a chair facing the window. And there's a young woman wearing a nightgown. She's extremely thin. There's a good bit of, like, food and trays next to her. But she's just... And she seems to, like, notice you all there, but she doesn't want to turn away from the window. Sarah Quill, you're the first one to hear. Why don't you just make a spot hidden check as you walk in, kind of to see if you see anything particular. That's kind of that's the main thing you see. And in general, I will not prompt you to make spot hidden checks. It's the first game, so I will. You guys might want to always be like, I want to do a spot hidden, want to do a listen. You always reference that you want to be looking or listening if it's not as passive as it is in D&D.
I fail 79. My score is 25.
You're kind of just taken by this girl who you think was definitely the source of the whimpering.
As I'm looking in, do I see the guy, the fellow that Conrad said he
You
knows?
don't see him as you walk in. Are you guys all... So Sarah, now you can't really see until she goes in. Are you now entering the room so everyone can come in?
I will slowly, but I want to make sure, like, I won't enter until I see the others moving behind me.
Understood. So basically you're kind of all trying to creep into the room. Alistair, as you
Yes.
enter, looking around, make a spot hidden check yourself. You giant of a judge.
If he had,
That's not gonna do it. No, it's 65. But
It's-
I need a.
It's very dim in here, but you don't see any other soul. Just that one woman in the chair.
And are we able to all look around? Because we're all curious about what's going on in this room.
You can make a spot hidden as well if you'd like, for sure.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
93. No.
93. Fortunately, not a fumble, but yes.
do I need to? as
You
well,
are
or-
welcome to. So typically in this game, like, I'll let people keep going. Usually if one person in the group tries it, but it's fun to roll dice.
I fail anyway.
What did you roll?
39.
39. Cool. So yeah. Not a terrible failure, but yeah, you guys, it's a dark room, just kind of like she's like bathed in this light blue moonlight.
That's very pretty.
And she's just, her hair kind of stringy, but she's like looking back, but she doesn't want to turn away from the window. Kind of rocking herself slightly.
Are you okay?
Each night I dread and dream and hope you'll break me apart. There's nothing I could ever do to atone, but you could squeeze another drop of love right out of me heart, as sure as you could squeeze the blood from a stone.
That's the name of the show, folks.
Ayy.
If people have been paying attention, that's a lot more than the name of the show. I'm just gonna ask this: does any player know what that I just said? Does anybody know what that is? I think Zane might.
Meatloaf?
I think the answer is always meatloaf.
The answer is technically speaking never meatloaf. Answer's never been meatloaf. But that specific thing I just
Stone
said.
Man.
That specific thing I just said. Does anyone recognize that? If I bet if Book
It
and
has
Dagger
been
were here.
I mean,
It
we've
has been
mentioned
said
Blood
before.
before.
That is, it's nothing super important. It is what has been on the opening screen of literally all 23 chapters up to this point.
We don't know that. We don't know what the significance
No,
is.
that's all I'm asking. Did anybody recognize it from the opening screen
Oh,
for the past
yeah, of
23
course.
sessions?
Yes, of course we did. Jeez Louise. Come on.
Never read it. I'll admit.
No,
I never read it.
I
Because
I
we
have
always
to ask
talking.
because
I
you didn't.
did. Well, I did.
I like the pictures.
Sure. So that's just what she says. And then she just kind of curls up. And shakes her head a bit. And then she looks back at you all. And her eyes are wide and black, and her pupils are completely dilated. In the moonlight, it almost looks like her eyes are just completely black in the sockets. And she says to you, "You're the loud ones now."
Loud?
She just turns back.
Very interesting.
I don't think I'm loud.
Do we have anything that... Does anybody potentially have anything that she could write on right now?
If any of you would have a diary of that. I will, however, say that you all hear footsteps coming up the stairway, now moving faster, as if noticing that the door is open at the top.
I'm gonna get caught.
I quickly shut the door quietly.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll move out and.
As you close the door, a voice comes. What? Who is that? What is going on? And comes up and begins knocking on the door. I guess trying to push the door open. Are you holding it in place, Conrad?
Got my foot in place to create.
Wonderful. Then let's just go ahead and make a good old. So what we're doing now is a contested strength roll. So what you're going to do, Conrad, is the specific number you roll doesn't matter as much as your level of success. So go ahead and roll the die. What is your strength score?
55.
Here, because it's 2. So basically, just let me know if you get a fail, regular, hard, or extreme success.
I got a 5. It's an extreme.
An extreme success. This person only rolled a regular. So you managed to just close the door, and they're banging against it, saying, "No one should be in that. What is the meaning of this? Who is this? Who is doing this?" Kind of banging.
No one was in there. We thought we heard something, so we came up here.
Are you saying this through the closed door?
Yeah, we're
I scurried out.
Oh,
Before I held the door.
she abandoned us.
I'll let that walk back. Conrad was closing the door on somebody. You walked out?
Yeah, I scurried out.
Understood. So Conrad, you've successfully done it, and he's glaring at you, and kind of now in very close quarters, he really would have had a penalty on that.
I thought we all were out, but for the sake of this, in my head, I ran out too.
So basically, that man Harris, kind of the assistant or the sort of attaché or whatever of Miss Octavia O'Dowell, is just glaring at you while pounding on the door, and now he's saying, "What is?" And he turns to you. "What is? Who is in there? What is it? Is it the others you were with? Why did you go in there?"
No, the others.
All of you out at once.
No, they went into what is surrounding the property.
Just other buildings. You're kind of in.
They went to find a pub, and I thought I heard something. And I read a lot of paranormal books, and I thought it might be a ghost. But then I came up here, and the door was completely locked, and I couldn't get through. So I just figured, it's my poor imagination that just gets to me sometimes.
Would you like to roll an extreme charm, or a regular fast talk?
This girl. Poor Sarah Quill.
So basically, he was trying to pound it, but now you just hear her nattering on outside.
I will do a regular fast talk.
Regular fast talk. So that's.
I just have to get below the white score.
Correct. So your regular fast talk is higher than your extreme.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Wait. Yes. Okay.
What's your fast talk?
It's 18. Wait. 18 on fast talk. 40 on fast talk, but I got 18.
Oh.
And it is a 0, 1, and an 8.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes it's an 81, and that would be exciting.
It's true.
So you have fast talked. What were you just excited about? You seemed real into something.
No, I was just excited that I passed that because
Understood.
the system is stressing me out.
So he kind of listens to this, and you're saying they've all gone off to a pub.
No, wait. I did very good on fast talk though, because the score is 18 on 20 on the blues, and I got an 18. Does that mean?
So, an excellent question, as we learned at the game, and all our viewers out there, check it out. I'm sure everyone is logged off by now. As we get into the hardcore rules of Call of Cthulhu. There are, in most instances, I will tell you what you require, and there is no difference between one or the other. if that makes sense. So, yeah, in most instances, I will simply say you need a hard success versus a regular. Sometimes, especially for something like spot hidden, you might see a little more if you succeed even more.
Fair.
But I will say, because
That's why I got excited.
I'll go ahead and say that because your fast talk was, yes, additionally, you have scored a hard success because you're below your blue number, your hard number, with an 18. You also would have scored an extreme success in the other one, which is great. Because you did so good on this, he actually does believe that they went to a pub. So he's trying to push this door open and feels it can't.
They went to look for a pub.
They went to look for a pub. Well, what are you doing up here? Did you see who went in here?
No, no one did. I just heard...
I just saw the door close.
You did? Maybe there is ghosts.
He gives you a very disapproving look, and you're in mild danger of needing to fast talk again, but he just kind of takes you roughly and paternalistic, by the shoulder, and just kind of leads you down and says,
well, this place is very, very old, and I think it might be haunted.
And he's marching you downstairs, and he's just calling out for various footmen to go up there, but you guys all hear that she has led him away.
Seems like the time to depart.
Wow.
I'm wondering if we might need to get any final information here from this young lady.
Seems like there's no final information. There's no initial information to gather, so it probably won't be the final information either.
The kind of equivalent of insight, it's like one of the other main perception things in the game, is a psychology roll. If one of you would like to make a psychology roll on her.
Anybody?
If anybody's already
Let me look, goddammit.
Live on the edge. Fortune favors the brave, bitches.
Mine is bad, y'all.
I
I
have
have
35.
A 35?
You still have 10 chances.
Yeah,
out of
Alistair.
100.
Alistair, go for it.
35. That's a 78.
Would you like to push it? It's kind of important. No. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's push it.
Push it.
Yeah.
And I've been rolling mostly.
It's 1 in 3 shot.
That's a 90.
Fuck. 90. So, you try to understand her. You kind of don't have a good insight. So you get in her face and starting asking questions kind of a little aggressively, just trying to kind of cut through. And she begins to scream her lungs out.
All right, and now's the time to go.
And with that, you guys all mosey out. I will have those few of you. And by the way, Lauren, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and click the box for fast talk, because you did succeed at a fast talk.
Story of my life.
Click the box for a fast talk. So as you all, as you guys march down those stairs, you hear some calling and such. I will let you guys make this call on your own. I would say you should decide this as a group, though. Siobhan, Alistair, and Conrad. Would you like to try to sneak away? You would have to make some stealth rolls, but on regular kind of successes, like 2 out of 3 of you, I would kind of say the group has stealthed away. Or you guys can simply just be there and attempt to, like not, it's a thing where, like, if you sneak and you're not seen, great, but if anybody sees you,
My question is, so are we trying to sneak from being seen that we were coming down that stairway, or could we be in some other area that we could have been somewhere else?
I would say sneaking would be that you're trying to completely make yourselves unseen. If you just want to rush from there to some other area, you could attempt that instead.
I'll say there is no world in which Alistair McGregor is sneaking successfully.
Understood. Then I guess we'll say that you guys as a group, you kind of march down the stairs, the door now hanging open, sans lock. Conrad, what do you do with the lock?
The lock that I took apart?
Mm-hmm.
It's still in my pocket.
Understood. Beautiful. So the 3 of you just kind of march down the stairs. No one's here yet. You hear stairs descending. It does sound like some footmen are coming. You're hearing feet approach. The easiest thing would be to just simply go back to the ante-room where you were. Otherwise, you could try to go into one of these just other rooms. What would you all like to do? Other dining rooms or sitting rooms that are unempty and unlit at the present.
There's definitely like a full stomach to help us get on our way. So let's go back to the antechamber, go back down to the dinner, and
Understood. So you guys make it to the antechamber. And I roll terrible for them, which is good for you. The various footmen who've been summoned, it's like 30 seconds later, people are walking here as you guys are in the antechamber beginning to go down, and they're sort of saying, just, they're not even looking at all of you, they're just rushing up past, I guess having heard from him something. And if you all, I will say that Sarah was talking very loud and as well as fast, so you all know that she said you had already left the premises. So, if you would like to simply move out, you could, or you can go try to get guns.
I want to get my guns.
It's quite right.
And really wants his guns.
Understood.
Where I come from, guns are part of our culture.
It's fair.
Maybe you should reevaluate your culture.
So, as you guys all just kind of like, as if it ain't a thing, head over to the place where the guns are.
Guns to be wholly unnecessary.
This is kind of like in like off the main area. There's also a coat check, but kind of there's someone who seems to be almost like a concierge who's helping with, arrange for people as you guys come over there, though. There's a couple of in line. But once you get up to the front, a concierge type is happy to rent out some firearms to you and to recommend good places. They could even arrange the carriage for you. They don't seem to be offering to pay the carriage. But as you guys all kind of are gathering there, you do notice that Harris is sort of standing with Sarah, having just been talking to a couple other footmen. Then he turns and says, didn't you all leave?
Oh, there you are, Sarah.
Yes, we left and we came back.
I couldn't keep up with them because, I got distracted by the alleged ghosts that you saw too, didn't you?
We were having a fabulous time getting our drinks, but this one really wants his weapons. So can we go to the armory or whatever? If you have any antique ones, I'd like to take a look at them.
Sort of the concierge there says, I'm afraid we don't have antique weapons that we can hand out to a member of your level. But we do have a wonderful collection. It's really pretty incredible. It's good. But yeah, what did you want? So basically, if anyone would like to, on behalf of the Order of the Opal Octopus, you could check out either a revolver, or you could check out a rifle.
I would like a revolver.
And I would recommend this for anyone who has, if your handgun proficiency is kind of over the base, or your rifle shotgun proficiency over the base, I would recommend it for that.
Handgun or firearm?
Firearms, parentheses, handgun.
Oh.
So, Alistair, you want rifle?
I'll go rifle.
All right, they will get you a rifle.
Wait, what do you mean over the base?
Okay, yes, excellent question. If you see in the green boxes next to firearms, handguns, there's a number written. It says 20%.
Yes.
So that means that if you guys didn't all make your characters completely for this, which I'll explain this stuff. Every single character as a baseline gets better than 0 in a lot of these things. So, even if you're not a history expert, you get a 5% in history. You all get a 30% in first aid as a base. Ooh. But if you wind up putting more points into it, you become higher. So the idea is that it's almost like you've got a 20% chance to hit someone without a handgun, even if you're not trained in it. But if you put a bunch of points into it, then you're really good with it. So I would mainly recommend to get guns if you have skills above the baseline for any of these weapons. So Sarah
that would
Quill,
be any percentage.
Any percentage over for handguns if you have anything over 20, or for rifle shotgun if you have anything over 25.
What about right at 20?
You have
right at 20.
No, you have 30.
No. The percentage says 20.
Right. That's the base that everyone gets. So if your white number is bigger than that. Yeah.
Because it's a D100 system.
So go for the highest number that you have.
Yeah.
basically.
So it's either the low number there or the higher one. Yeah.
I will go for it.
I'll take a revolver.
So
I would like one too.
Revolver. Alistair wants a rifle. Okay, great.
I would like a rifle or a shotgun. If I'm going to take one, I guess I'll take one.
Okay.
I've shot shotguns before, but that was to shoot ducks.
Are you over 25 on those? On rifles?
I am exactly at 20.
You can grab one if you want to, but I think for you there's better options.
Oh wait. I
Okay.
should take.
So then I should
Can I
take a
take
handgun
both?
instead.
I would take nothing if I were you. That's
Me? Okay.
That's not where you shine.
Could I
I
take
know it's not
both?
where I shine, but then like maybe I can take it apart for parts or sell it or something.
So Sarah Quill, you want a handgun?
Wait,
They're not
could I
giving
take-
this to you. You're like renting it. Like you're filling out
Right.
forms to
Oh
return it.
well, then.
could I
hold on,
take
don't
both?
need a hand.
They seem to be saying they'll give each of you one firearm.
Okay, then I actually should take a rifle. Then
It's a lot more cumbersome. You can't really hide it.
but that's okay.
Okay.
I look unassuming, and
Assuming with a
I've
rifle?
shot a lot of ducks on my father's
Sal and
property.
Alistair take rifles, and Conrad.
Do they have anything to aid a brawler instead?
I'll tell you what, Siobhan. Why don't you make a charm check? Unless you'd rather do persuasion.
I think. Let me double check. I would probably rather do charm.
Okay, just try a charm. And if there's another thing you'd like to attempt, you could try that as well.
Let me see. What would apply in this scenario?
I think it is kind of a charm situation.
My credit rating?
Credit rating's not bad. I'll tell you what, make a credit rating roll. That's fine. What is your
Okay.
credit rating?
60?
Oh, it's not bad.
Okay. 48.
You kind of demonstrate to them that you're a big enough spender, Siobhan. Also, what is your appearance score, Siobhan?
Appearance? Is that the APP?
It's APP. Oh, sorry, yes. APP up at the top in an orange box.
APP, you know me. It's a 60.
With a 60, there's a you kind of express this enough. You said you like antiques, huh?
Sure, yeah.
Throw a charm on top of this.
Didn't I? Okay. No, I rolled. Something else. Alright, okay. 66.
You want to push it?
Sure. How do I push it?
So basically, you're gonna roll again, but now if you don't roll under 40, it's basically like you're trying to charm. It's not quite working, so you're really gonna lay it on, but there might be a negative consequence if you miss. So you don't have to.
Alright. No, we'll try it. I've gone this far.
Yeah,
I've sunken cost fallacy now, Philip. Damn
exactly. That damn straight.
it. Ooh, 17.
17. So I think that actually is a hard success for you. So with that, he kind of, you're putting the charm on, and this person's interested that you're asking about this. So fun fact, you use the brawl score. Certain weapons require their own, but brawl is what you use for knives. So this guy does actually say, I'm not supposed to sort of show this, but this is I suppose no one's really ever checked this one out. He presents you with what is basically, he presents you with a sheath. It's basically a machete.
Nice.
But it's a very old one, and it's kind of looks like an antique, definitely an import, not sort of from around here. But it is an extremely long-bladed weapon. And he sort of says, "You can, you can. I don't want to get me in trouble, but you can take that for the now. I'll write it down as a standard knife. No one ever comes looking for it. It might be slightly cast or something. I don't know about that, but aye.
Slightly what?
I might have a cast on it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
People- I think it might have been used in some murders, so a lot of people don't want to take it, but it's not a bad one.
Oh, well, that's not a problem for me.
Do I hear this?
Yeah.
Does this look like the knife that was used in those ritual murders 30 years ago?
Oh, interesting. This, you already rolled high on that. No, you suspect that was not, this is like antique from elsewhere.
Okay.
This is like kind of like a giant, it's almost like it's almost like a short sword. It's still technically a knife, but it's like on the cusp of being that. So no, you do not think that this is a like was used in that kind of murder. That being said, looking at this thing and kind of all like the weird like sigils on it, you totally believe somebody murdered something with this thing because they're, you know, dark vibe. But you don't think it's the one that is connected.
But it does have a dark vibe.
All right, well, Siobhan, you've got a machete.
got a
If that's
machete.
I think you'd already done a charm, so yeah, you've already checked that. And you notice you cannot check credit rating. Certain skills cannot be improved, so there's no box next to credit rating, but good credit rating check to demonstrate that you're a bit on the wealthy side. With that, my friends, you guys are all going to sort of leave here and make arrangements. Who of you actually has the highest credit rating? Siobhan has a 60. Anybody higher than a 60 in their credit rating? What do you got, Alistair?
70.
Typical old white male.
Alistair, so basically no roll required. So an interesting thing of this game is it does sort of sometimes track assets and wealth, but like sometimes for kind of like incidentals, like hiring a thing or like renting rooms and stuff, no roll is required. Based on your credit rating, it's like because of your credit rating, yeah, you just get that. It tells you kind of your thing. So Alistair, you're able to pretty easily get a carriage. Do any of you have I should know because I built a lot of these characters. Do any of you have anything higher than the base skill for like drive coach carriage?
Absolutely not. That's why I hired people to drive for me.
Yeah, you probably
The
would
base
not.
is 20%.
Base is 20.
27.
Yeah.
27. Okay.
I'm surprised I even have 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, everyone has 20. Conrad.
Strange.
20. Conrad really probably should have higher. Conrad also, I didn't know your character. I might adjust some of your skills based on hearing what you guys are doing. Like, Conrad needs ride. Like, whoa. Conrad, you got to be able to ride a horse.
Conrad's a
That's just
cowboy,
boom.
y'all.
Oh yeah.
But I will say that if you want to, because Sarah is a little higher, like you guys could even not hire a coachman, but probably easier to just hire a coachman. So with that, you guys venture out, making plans to meet tomorrow to collect your carriage from the livery, and kind of just a few blocks away, and you will set out north to Thatchford cum Lowgate Grave. I keep saying Lowgate, it's Lowgrave, driving me crazy.
Lowgrave.
But with that, we are actually going to end this first session of our new little story here. Chapter 24 is session 1 of a new tale. Well, I'm gonna first off, very good players. What do you think of this system? Those of you who've never played it before.
Interesting.
It's interesting, right?
I need to get the hang of it. I was like, I don't know what to do, but it was fun.
It's just look at all those skills. You'll kind of like in D&D, you'll realize that like, you know, some of them are used way more than others. So you'll eventually kind of get the hang of what you want to always ask to do or not. It's, you know,
It's like seeing that things are there is good regardless of the game system you're using.
yeah, it's almost like no matter what, you need good perception scores. And thank you everyone for watching this crazy session. This was super fun. I hope those longtime viewers of Blood from a Stone enjoy this interesting new sort of angle on things, and for our players, I hope that there were some interesting reveals and things shown in here. If you like this, please check us out next week, same time. We try to do this every Friday, and kind of often we'll have different players in here or there. Kind of it's a little more of an ensemble type thing than a regular cast. Although the 4 we have here tonight are kind of the regular core. We also have on Sundays a game called Here Be Dragons. It's about dragons. The players are dragons. Very exciting. And then on Mondays, we have a game called Wellness Beyond the Witchlight, also known as Wild Beyond the Witchlight. And Lauren
It's wild
and
beyond
Liv.
Wild Beyond the
It's
Witchlight.
wellness. They're after
Reviews.
wellness. It's what they're here for. And that's like it's the literal polar opposite of this game. It's just a
The
super...
2 women here are in that.
It's a very, very,
Tons of fun.
it's a very, very nice, pleasant game where nothing bad ever happens.
Except for when
Frogblade.
Fritzy is an asshole.
Yeah,
Probably.
Fritzy causes shit. Rival is like, stop.
Oh boy. If you like our channel, please follow us or subscribe. You get a free subscription if you have Amazon Prime and you link your Twitch account. And it's so simple. I talked to my parents through how to do it.
Wow.
Remind them to resubscribe, though.
Oh, you also resubscribe if you're doing that because it makes you resubscribe. It's like doesn't prompt you to, you just have to.
Yeah.
We have a Discord. It's really cool. Go to our Discord. You can find downloads and recaps of all the sessions. Lots of
And
invocations
novellas
for this game.
By the DM.
We do have a novella. We have a couple of novellas here as well. One is set in Paradise. There will be a little short story set here in the realm of Merkshire before too long as well. That's just real short. Emphasis on short story on that one. And then it's flash fiction.
He wishes he could write that.
I'll say
thing.
I'm gonna do a short thing. It'll be like 5,000 words later. Shit. Okay, now it starts. Now the main story starts. But yeah, very good. Anybody want to plug any fun stuff in their lives? Oh, go to our About page to learn more about these wonderful players here on Twitch. Anybody else? Words to say?
I like to plug that Brittany is free.
Brittany is free.
Brittany is free.
We freed fucking Brittany, and Steve Bannon got indicted. It was a good day in the court system at the very least.
Oh yeah.
Well, a lot of stuff went on the court system.
Well,
yeah.
Those two things were good. A lot of bad other things happened.
There's some other court stuff that's not so good. But you know what? Yes, it is. Let's take the W's where we can. But not W, who was the president. I mean, honestly, a lot of people would rap it. You know what? Never mind. The point being, I hope that everyone has a lovely week moving forward. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.
Be well.
Have a dreadful night.
This is the anti-be well game.
This is the anti. Be afraid.
Be
very afraid.
We're gonna die soon, aren't we?
Bye-bye.
Yeah.